Hi, it's Andy.
Hi, it's Dave.
Hi, it's Kirk.
Welcome to the A.D.K channel. We're going to go straight into today's reaction video. If you like the video, please do like, share, and subscribe. There'll be no pause in the video, no talking during it, and we'll share our thoughts and feelings at the end. Let's go. Okay, so there we go. That was Fate Gear, which are a steampunk-inspired metal band from Japan, and their song Unbreakable Wings. First of all, it's got a guitar in it, so that's freaking awesome. I like that. That's fun. That's cool. That's cool. That put a smile on my face. Even though if Andy's like, you fuck off. But it's true. I enjoyed it. The first thing I really want to talk about is I'd love to find the director of this music video and go, what the fuck were you thinking about, mate? What was the concept of your video? It looks like it's like an Air Force museum they found, but I don't get what the purpose of it. Oh, yeah, okay, the song's called Unbreakable Wings. I don't think it's about planes. So why is it? It's such a weird. I mean, it's the bit where she's sitting in the cockpit singing. I'm like, what? Why? It was like they were doing shots and they just went, oh, why don't we sit you in the cockpit and get you to sing a bit in there, and we'll put you up on a wing. There's so many random shots. And then there's bits of the shots with the girls playing guitars with nothing around them. Then there's all the band together with just two lonely amps at one side. What's the point? All the rest of the shots there was no amps. So why have you got amps there? From a videography point of view, there's so mey holes in the video, but I actually really enjoyed watching it because it was fun. Like the bit where the guitarist is up on the wing of a plane doing a solo. I'm like, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm enjoying this. This is fun. Singer is much better than the one in Love Bites. Sorry, Love Bites fans, but she is. I'm going to put that out there. She's got a better vocal range, and I enjoyed listening to the band. For me, Fake Gear is a better band than Love Bites. Maybe not technically. I think technically Love Bites have got a lot of skill in their shredding ability, their guitar techniques, the bass techniques, but from a listening, I thoroughly enjoyed. I would prefer listening to Fake Gear over Love Bites any day. That's a personal preference. I'm not saying they are a better band technically in any shape or form. Everyone's got their own opinions, but I really enjoyed listening and watching Fake Gear. When she came in with that heavy vocals, thought great, and then when she went clean, that can usually put me off. But actually, I thought she had a really nice tone to her vocals, and so the clean vocals didn't make me go, "Oh, not really vibing on that." So I really like the track. I'm going to throw it to Andy.
Yeah, I mean, fun is a way of describing that. I mean, you mentioned it being filmed in, the Far Eastern equivalent of Duxford Air Museum here in Cambridgeshire.
Yeah.
Is that their sort of band ethos, sort of aerial warfare? I mean, you said steampunk. I saw pilots and sort of air support staff look rather than steampunk, and obviously it's set around the planes and everything. Just wonder if that was their sort of theme of their sort of music, songs. I don't know.
The few times I've seen Fake Gear and I've checked out a few other videos of theirs historically, they're not set up with there's usually steampunk goggles on them. Okay. So obviously
rather than aerial warfare.
I noticed there was a lot more military elements to their outfit. So I was like, maybe Unbreakable Wings is meant to be talking about something to do with pilots. It seems like a weird concept, but maybe there was a without the lyrics, I don't know. So maybe it does tie in somehow.
I mean, you said you like the guitar. When it first came in early on in the song, I thought, I mean, there's a place. I like keyboards that sort of lead tracks, and drive songs forward. Nightwish, for example. But that was not a Nightwish keyboard tone, was it? It was, I wrote down sort of Disney soundtrack, and then later on it occurred to me there's obviously set as, that. Would you agree? Sort of like the keyboard sound like, that sort of accordion. What do you call that instrument there? Where you got buttons on the side and you press it. Accordion.
Accordion. Accordion. Yeah.
Anyway, so that was the wrong keyboard tone for me.
The tone wasn't right.
If it was more symphonic, more Nightwish, that would have really added to the track. But I agree with you. The vocalist. Aggressive vocals at the beginning, and then her clean tone was really nice, really good. I enjoyed that a lot. The guitars were buried in the mix for me. The drums were sort of too prominent and kind of hid the guitars. But yeah, I also wonder what sort of audience this sort of band is aimed at, because you surely can't enjoy just sitting in your room, in your car or whatever, listening to this. The visuals, 5 attractive women in a themed costume performing. Yeah, you can see the appeal, but would you want to listen to that just audibly? I can't see who would, to be honest. But there we go. And the name as well. Are these Far Eastern names sort of lost in translation? Or we've done one recently for a band called Devil Luth. Is there a phrase in that band's language that has been translated to English and it hasn't come across very well? I mean, Fake Gear just doesn't mean anything, does it?
I mean, I'm wondering, without actually knowing the context of Fake Gear, there's a lot of stuff that's tied into anime culture as well. So That could be as simple as a tie-in to an anime series. It could be something like that, which could tie in. As far as actually listening, I would listen to this without having the visuals. Okay. So I would. It's more accessible. I wouldn't listen to Love Bites without the visuals. So I'd want to see that, because there'd be more of a context. Love Bites is just not really my sort of thing to listen to on its own, whereas this is more accessible. I like the transitions, I like the passages, so I would. But again, it's one of those. I'd probably be the same with like deathcore or something like that, I'd be like, maybe if there was a music video of it, I'd watch it, but I would never listen to deathcore without on its own.
Fair
But
enough,
there are a lot of people that would, so I think there is a place for it, definitely. Kirk, you want to wrap us up for us?
Yeah, before we get to the music, I think there's certainly an audience here, and there will probably be men in their early 20s, possibly virgins. That might be incels. No, there are people who follow these female-fronted bands, because let's be honest, they are beautiful, the women in this band, aren't they? And I understand that. Sorry, Andy, you're about to say something.
No, I'm agreeing with you. Yeah, this is, that's the appeal, isn't it? It's not your 50-year-old rock fan like myself. He's not going to be into this band. It's going to be the demographic of people you described.
I mean,
hang on, I'm gonna throw one question. So, if it's an all-male band and a female listens to them, are they only looking at it because it's an all-male band?
No, they're not. You're right. But
so, are we taking a sexist stance on this point?
No, I don't think we are.
I'm just questioning because you are going to get that in the comments. Because I disagree.
Before we go to the music, I'll address that. There are double standards. If you're a female in a metal band, you have to be stunning. If you're a male in a metal band, you've got to look like, you're a car mechanic and you've not washed and you've got long hair and you're wearing combat trousers.
Sorry, Andy.
So I am aware of the double standards that we hold against people. And in fact, Dave, your first instinct was to compare them to Love Bites. What? Just because they're another band of women? You can have more than one all-female fronted band. We don't need to compare them just because of the gender. So ironically, you could possibly be the one who was being sexist there. I don't think you were, by the way.
The reason I compared them to Love Bites is because there's been some musicianship swap between the two bands.
Oh, okay.
Shut up.
I don't think we're being sexist anyway, but I think some people might try to.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Catch you out on that. The other question I've got before we go to the song. Sorry, I will not.
You will get there.
Time. Why does England not produce all-female, technically gifted metal musicians who all look cute and they can play their instruments and they've got great vigor and attitude? We just don't see that. It's got to be unique to Japan and possibly Indonesia. A couple of bands we've reviewed there, and we should celebrate this. These are women, young ladies who are choosing to play technical metal music. That one is really experimenting with different genres. The guitar, for some reason, sounded like it was playing Celtic folk music. I don't know if that was intentional. The guitars, buried in the mix. Great drumming. Love to see the coordination of them all head spinning, including the woman on the guitar. And when she's on that wing of that aeroplane, genius. I was like, this is so much fun. What do I remember from the song? The tempo of the drums. There's a good guitar solo in there. And I did like those demonic vocals at the beginning. And she held a tune in the chorus as well, didn't she? So multi-talented band. I probably could listen to an album full of that, Andy, because I wouldn't really know what to expect. So each song, it's going to be a thrill. Like, what are they going to put in it in this song? Is it going to have J-pop? Is it going to have death metal? Is it going to have blast beats? So you don't really know. So to me, that is part of the fun. So I thought that was thoroughly enjoyable.
So before I just wrap up and close it off, there was one thing I did think about when you asked about all-female groups. Now, it kind of originated, I'm probably going to get, like, there was bands before this, but bands like Band-Maid, Baby Metal, they became quite big. And I think because they became quite big with this all-female idea, a lot of bands jumped on it, and then there was a lot of the organisation of putting bands together, because there is also a behind-the-scenes culture of organisation of management companies, record labels putting bands together, which we don't get as much over here. Definitely not in the metal genre, but it is a big genre over there. So I think there was an element of that. Once you got one band that broke through, there was a lot of bands that were put together to kind of capture that audience. Now, we don't have that over here. I mean, if you look at bands from the UK, you're talking about all-female bands, Girls' School. I mean, you're going back a long way. And so it's not something we don't have that putting bands together culture or jumping on that initial bandwagon. And I think there probably was an element of that with these breakout bands that kind of initially got through, and then they were like, oh, these are really popular, we'll get a load of bands. And there was a lot of these bands like Fake Gear, Mary's Blood, Aldius, Unlucky Morpheus. Actually, Unlucky Morpheus does have a guy in it. But there is a lot of these female bands where they all kind of sprouted up within a 2-year period. And I think that's probably an element of that. They all have different styles, but I think there was a little bit of that probably putting it together. So maybe that's why we don't have it over here. It was just something that was bred from that culture where they sort of latched onto a bandwagon that launched off.
It's impressive though, isn't it? Because like, take for example Russia, you had that band they called Pussy Riot, and they were just a female punk band. Obviously, they were critics of the Putin regime. They played a set in an Orthodox church, didn't they, as well? But the music is just crap, isn't it? It's just punk. Whereas you get these Japanese bands, and they're playing.
Yeah.
You know, they've practiced for years to get to that standard, and they're really going for it. And it's like, for example, all this shit that's on TikTok. You know, you have all these woke bands. By the way, they do exist, Andy. They're not in metal, and they're talking about transgender issues and everything that's far left and against bourgeois morality. And the music is just useless. It is just, hey, it's not about the music for us. We're a threesome. We're just going to sing songs about transgender dysphoria and play punk music that's been played a million times before. You know, no one has the appetite. That's what I'm saying. Whereas in Japan, they learn their instruments. They learn their craft. They love what they're doing. I mean, I don't know why that guitar player was wearing white gloves. Can you imagine trying to play a shredding solo wearing gloves?
I know, Dan. I forgot to say that. Yeah, I'd like to see that line.
Yeah, try to do that. But okay, there we go. Well, that was Fake Gear and Unbreakable Wings. Now, if you like this video, please do like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you on another video sometime very soon. Take care.